Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I'm playing the Tier 9 U.S. battleship Minnesota. I'm divisioned with Ramagar, who's playing the Tier 9 premium German battleship Pommern. This is a mixed tier match. We are top tier, and Ram is spawning center. I'm spawning out on the eastern flank, south of the Delta Cap. Now, why am I showing you this game? Well, two reasons. One, to highlight some of the strengths and some of the weaknesses of the Minnesota, and two, there is a player in this game who, at least to my mind and the mind of at least one other player on the team, and I'm pretty sure everybody who stuck around, took unnecessary chances with what appeared to be glee and put the game at risk when it really didn't have to be. So I guess what I'm saying with regards to that is, please don't be that guy. The Minnesota, as you can see, has pretty nice standard gun range, 21.2 kilometers. It does have, well, you can take either a fighter or a spotting plane. At least as far as I'm concerned, the fighter's kind of a waste. But the spotting plane, it expands your range just that much farther, and these guns, they hit very hard. And you can take the accuracy buff on the Minnesota. So, while these guns are not as devastating as the Vermont, which has bigger shells, these shells are still pretty big, and this ship can still do significant damage even at range. You can see that I've pushed up a little bit here, but I don't want to push up too close because, I mentioned I've talked about strengths and weaknesses. Well, strengths, definitely the guns, and to some degree the accuracy. Weaknesses, the Minnesota is a huge target, and it burns quite nicely. So trying to stay away from HE spam as much as possible is probably a good idea. Doesn't mean you don't ever want to get anywhere near the fight, because I believe you do. I'm so irritated at wargaming for introducing the Deadeye skill in its current incarnation, because it promotes the idea that you want to stay as far away as possible, and I think that's just one more thing that detracts from the fun of the game, that probably for a lot of us is what we liked about the game. It's where you're getting in close enough to be able to mix it up. So you can see there, these shells do hit fairly hard. I waited, I was patient. I let the enemy Pommern show me a significant amount of broadside. Then I let the shells go. And although I didn't get a Citadel, because, well, Pommern's not an easy ship to Citadel, I did manage to land 7 shells. 5 of them were penetrations and ended up with 15k damage. Now in this game, as is true in a lot of games, there are a lot of pretty inexperienced players. Our Kagero captain over there is one of those pretty inexperienced players. And where really one of the greatest strengths of the Kagero, other than the hard-hitting torpedoes, is its stealth. Our Kagero player, here in a little while, he gets really close, and your stealth doesn't do you any good when you're at point-blank range. And in a Kagero, you're just not going to last long if you get close. So, as is very often the case, inexperience costs the team quite a bit, and that's just part of the game. Another German battleship, difficult to Citadel. I aimed a little too high there. I could see that he was turning out a bit, but he didn't turn out quite enough, or I aimed just a little too high, or both. Still managed to do a little bit of damage. I did disable the gun, but I'm sure he's repaired that. And our Hollande gets, well, you can see his position on the minimap. He was trying to contest the cap, and well, you can see how close he was to that de Grosse, Palmer, and Hipper. I'm going to try hard to finish off this Palmer.
Enemy battleship destroyed.
And I do manage to land a shot that finishes the Palmer. Now, you'll notice that Ram is nose in his Palmer. Palmer is not a ship that does well when you go nose in and you are outgunned. And in this case, there's a destroyer, a de Grosse, a Hipper, and then a little farther back a Miyoko, and way out there a Georgia. And you can see shells coming in from Miyoko or Georgia 1. And the only thing they have to shoot at is Ram. And he's so close, there's really nowhere for him to go. So if you're playing the Palmer, you can see the way that my ship is angled. That's what I recommend doing with the Palmer. Otherwise, that's what happens. So we lose our York and our Palmer, and Ram's out of the game. Our de Grosse takes out the enemy team's Estergötland. But we're down 4 ships, they're down 3. Now both teams have a cap, but in terms of positioning, I like the red team's positioning much better. De Grosse is not an easy ship to sink. It's just not. I'm going to do everything I can here, but I'm also going to be taking HE spam. You can see the secondaries have opened up. Now look at where the Kagero's at, out there on the 10 line, and look how close he got to the Miyoko. We lose our de Grosse to the enemy Jean Bar. And right here, I know Kagero's going to get sunk. There's no Miyoko player that I've encountered yet who can't finish off a Kagero at that kind of range. You can see the comments there in the chat box. And Rosa he just stops. He doesn't have to push. My entire team on this side all died in a matter of, what, a minute? Something like that. A minute and a half. Wasn't paying that close attention to the clock, but in very short order, the entire team is gone. I'm left over here by myself. Now, I talked about strengths and weaknesses. One of the other weaknesses of the ship, you can see I'm at full speed, and I'm at roughly 24 knots. That does not make this ship very good at escaping conflict. And we know that there was a Kagero, a Z-31, a Hipper, a Georgia, Miyoko, and this de Grosse all on this side, and I'm over here by myself. Now, our Charlie cap that we secured is beginning to flip. That tells me the Kagero's there. I have no idea where the Z-31 is at. I can tell where the Miyoko's at, the de Grosse, and I'm sure the Hipper's heading this way to AG spam as well. So I'm just trying to create as much room as possible and try and remain angled to what degree that I can. I don't want to run myself into this corner, so I've got to turn around a little bit. My focus here is going to be de Grosse. I'm already burning. I'm going to try and persuade the de Grosse that he does not want to stay close enough to use his secondaries. Really hoped for a little bit more than that. Maybe I can do a little better here. A little bit better. Gotta land one more, but he's gonna heal. Now, look at our guys on the other side. If you look at the minimap, we've got a Miyoko that's sitting way, way, way back. Akatsuki's pushed up. He's probably running for the Bravo cap. We've got a Minnesota and an Albemarle facing off with the Z-31, Georgia, and they have to be aware that the Kagero's out there as well. And this ship does not reload quickly, as I'm sure you know. De Grosse's heal is going to far outpace my ability to put shells on him when he's angled up and running away. So I got close, but I was not able to finish him off. So I have to switch my... Now, our Minnesota was able to take care of him from the other side of the map. I've got to switch my targeting here, and I'm looking for broadside shots on these cruisers. Now, Miyoko's barely moving, but he is very maneuverable. I'm waiting for all 4 turrets to be loaded. And Hipper very, very kindly shows me broadside.
The ship is on fire!
Now I need one more like that, and Hipper will be gone. And he is running broadside. Now Miyoko is also a tempting target. It is just a big floating citadel, but like I said, it wiggles pretty well. Ah, this reload. 10 more seconds.
Problem solved, sir.
I've really got to make this next shot count. I'm down to 5,500 hit points. I've still got 47 seconds till my heal's up. Hipper angled up, so I put the shells out on Miyoko, but you can see he's already turning in. The shells are going to fall harmlessly away from him, so that was a painful waste of volley. 27 seconds. And I've got about 30 seconds left till I can heal again. And I'm down to 2,200 hit points. Now Miyoko's close enough that I can't go dark. And I'm using the edge of the map here because, well, I don't have much choice. I got 1,181 hit points. Finally, my heal comes up. Is Miyoko going to go behind the island? I have to hope so. I hit the heal. It's a good thing I did, or I would have been sunk. Now I've got a very brief time here where I'm not going to be spotted. Miyoko knows if he gets this close and is detected, I might be able to really hurt him. And I'm trying really, what I'm trying to get is trying to get nose into them. I know Miyoko's a torpedo threat, but if I don't get nose into him, I just have to sit there with my bow pointed at him. And I can close the distance and maybe hit him a little bit harder and be just that much more accurate. Somebody's got me detected, and you can see this thing is so slow. Yeah, okay, you slow down when you're on the edge of the map, but still. Holy cow, this thing is slow. Meanwhile, Hipper has decided to show me broadside again. And I have to make him pay here.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
Now, I'm almost certain I'm going to get sunk by the Miyoko. I don't really see any way to avoid it. I have to do as much damage as I can. Our Minnesota finishes off their Georgia finishes off our Minnesota. They ram each other. We've got this full health Miyoko. Well, not full health. He's still got 31.6. I'm down to, what, 3,000 hit points, and that's going to be dropping rapidly. Just some chip damage there. I've got another heal. Not sure how long that's going to keep me in the game. I'm watching our guys up there. They're facing off with 2 destroyers, with 1 destroyer and that Miyoko I was talking about. They do finish off the Z-31. I'm burning and I have no way to stop it. So really, this is probably my last shot here. I do manage to get a Citadel, do some significant damage there. And their Miyoko's pretty banged up. So as it stands right now, our guys have they've clawed their way back. It's 2v2, and we're down 200 points. That's not good. So there's the Kagero. He's detected. As I was saying earlier, a Miyoko with a Kagero spotted at that kind of range. The Kagero, well, it should be sunk in short order. The enemy Miyoko is not close enough to be able to help. Our Miyoko is sailing, showing a lot of broadside there. And the enemy Kagero is doing all he can to make him pay, but... So our Miyoko is down to 2,100 hit points. Our Akatsuki is at 1,600 hit points. And their Miyoko, well, he's got enough hit points to trade a little bit. And this is where I started with this video. Our Akatsuki, he can remain undetected. His detection radius is,
Battle ends in 5
of
minutes.
course, much better than the Miyoko. So he can run for a cap and not have to worry about being detected. And he's got 10-kilometer torpedoes, which gives him really quite a stealth window. If he's spec'd forward, it's almost 4 kilometers. So he doesn't really have to worry about getting detected by the Miyoko unless he pushes toward the Delta Cap and does get spotted by just basically by being too close as he tries to go for the cap. Our Akatsuki wisely decides, you know what, I'm going to run south, I'm going to go for Charlie, and maybe I get torpedoes. Now keep an eye on our Miyoko. And look at the comments there. Miyoko, make being invisible your goal. And our Akatsuki is encouraging them to run for the decap. Myself, at this point, I'm not sure that's a good idea. Initially, I thought it might be, but... And you can see the score. We have to sink that guy. If you don't get in a cap, you will have to sink him. There's 3 minutes, 38 seconds left. I don't think there's enough time to win by capping. Again, keep an eye on the Miyoko. Miyoko says take cap or contest and we catch up on points. Well, I'm not sure. With 3 minutes left, and the fact that he's just now to the point where he's going to get... Okay, so we know where the enemy Miyoko's at. Both of our guys can see him plainly, and they know that he is heading north into the Delta Cap. And you can see me there poking a little bit of fun at Ram in the chat box. Now Akatsuki's going to hold up here. He's going to secure this cap. Again, keep an eye on our Miyoko. And ask yourself, what in the world is he thinking? Oh, okay. Well, maybe he's going to turn around now. Maybe he's going to fall back, and we're going to win this game. You can see now the little box in the upper part of the map. If nothing else changes, nobody dies. We win in 2 minutes 48 seconds. They win in 5. Now, we've only got 1 minute and 38 seconds left. Can we catch up on points? It's questionable. We'll just have to see. And our Miyoko is now calling names. He's throwing his torpedoes out there in case the enemy Miyoko comes around that corner and heads this way. If he sinks him, then we win. 1 minute to go. And he immediately opens up on the enemy Miyoko with 2,100 hit points. bear in mind, all we had to do was stay unseen. If he had stayed unseen, watch the points. We're at 887, they're at 888, 14 seconds left. We would have won. Thanks for watching. Don't be that guy. I'll see you next time.